Hello and welcome back to Grow Roots. This is Shannon and welcome to my December 2024 front and backyard garden tour. Hello everyone. This is actually my first video that I am posting for the month of December. It has been quite a month and I apologize. I've been really low key for a couple months now, and really I'm just kind of focusing on my family and my priorities and all of the things, and haven't filmed very much or posted very much. And I love y'all, and I'm still 100% passionate about my garden, but also have a lot of other things going on. And so I hope that y'all will forgive me. My daughter has been here home for the last 2 weeks. She is in the Navy and she is in Hawaii. And so I have just enjoying every moment with her. But we said goodbye this morning at the airport. Off she goes back to Hawaii, and it's also been raining a whole lot, so that has dampened some of my plans as well for filming. But here we are. I'm starting in the backyard because I never did post. I did film it, but I never did post my November backyard garden tour. And to be quite honest, it all kind of looks the same as it did in November. So I'm going to start back here because y'all haven't been able to see the beauty that has been this last November and December. God has gifted us with this amazing weather, especially for the month of December. It really has just been an extended fall for us. So the highs have been in 60s and 70s for the most part, a few exceptions here and there, and then the lows have been in the 40s and the 50s. And again, there have been some exceptions. We've gotten down to 28 degrees a couple of different times. We've gotten a couple of different freezes, and but that's it. Normally, like by now, we've had ice, we've had snow, something. It's been there's normally like an extended period of cold by now, but there has not been, and the plants will show it. This is incredible. I have some blooms to show you that I'm super excited about, but anyway, here we are. This is how the garden would normally look in probably November. And even before like a really big freeze happened. So I'm excited to show it to y'all. So first, wow, this is not her Glory, but I'm sure you've seen her kind of chilling out in the garden here. This is Chloe, our backyard garden cat. She just hangs out back here. She chose us. She was a stray, but fixed when she arrived already, and we just kind of feed her and give her a place, and she cannot go in my house because I'm extremely allergic to cats, but we love her all the same, and she hangs out back here, and she's super sweet. But yeah, so this is, I can't even remember if you guys have seen this yet. This is a kaleidoscopeabelia that I transplanted from a shade location. It was not happy, but it is springing to life for sure. It doesn't look amazing because it's winter, and I can't even believe it. It has a lot of growth, but I do believe it is evergreen in our zone. Our zone is zone 8A, 8B, and so it really likes this new location. A lot more sun in this location for sure. I have a row of these beautiful Mexican petunias, and up until like last week, I had flowers on them. They had buds on them. And actually, look at this. This is an active bud right here. So it's just insane that we've had the weather that we've had, but everything looks so good. So I have a really nice row of those. They have multiplied like crazy. This started out just as 6 little guys last year, and now we have many of them. Coming over here, this is my candy corn spirea, and I do believe that it fell ill to some type of fungus. It's not like, this is not the best that it could possibly look, but I kind of I didn't treat it. I let it go, and thinking that, wow, it's going to have all new growth. All of these are going to fall because it is deciduous, and then we'll be fine going into next season. No big deal. But it hasn't even lost its leaves yet. Look at this beautiful color. It's insanely beautiful. I love this candy corn spirea. It's hanging in there. It's totally fine. I think that it will be just fine coming into this next year. And then all of this that you see are the annual vines that I have been growing, and it's still blooming. This is Black-Eyed Susan vine. You can see it's even kind of creeped into the landscape there. And it's insane that it is still alive and it is still blooming after we've had at least 4 different freezes, all the way down to 28 degrees a couple of different times. But, you know, not super, super extreme temperatures. And so the Black-Eyed Susan vine is still alive and kicking and doing its thing. I had another vine and it is done, and it's the purple hyacinth bean vine. So right now is the time for me to collect all of the seeds that are in here. I've already done 1 or 2 collections on these pods that it comes up with. This has lost all of its leaf, but you know, I've had to wait for all of these pods to dry, and so now is the time for me to go in and collect all of these amazing seeds. I'll go ahead and do one maybe in my tour. Let me see. A lot of these are later season pods, and so some of them don't even have any seeds in them, to be honest. Let me find one. No, not really. Let me see if there's any. There's definitely one over there that was rattling around with seeds yesterday when I was in the garden, so I know that I can get some, but I'm going to try this one for y'all. Basically, you just crack these open when they're dry, and I can't do it one-handed. I just came up here to get this open, and here you go. Here's what those cute little beans look like. Actually, this one looks a little bit deformed. Like I said, it's a late season pod. And yeah, that one's not viable, but I guarantee you some of these are. This was rattling around yesterday with, you hear that? I hope you can hear that, but those are the little seeds rattling around. Okay, so here's one of those I just kind of cracked open, and there you go. That's what these guys are supposed to look like. These cute little brownish black beans, and these will be good for planting next season so that we can get more purple hyacinth bean vine. And it kind of just took over my garden. I planted too many of them, so I will not do that again. I will probably plant 1 or 2 next season, and I'll be totally happy with that. But there you go. That's how you collect those seeds. There's a couple more in there that I could probably collect. But going back over this garden bed, we're just on the other side of it. This has become such a cool perennial bed. So let's see. I'm going to start over here. I have Sweet William dianthus growing right here. It grows real tall and just these beautiful big blooms of pink. So that's that. But this is on its 3rd year, this one, and so I'm not really sure. It's a biennial plant. I'm not sure if it will continue to bloom next season, but it is still alive going into its 3rd year, so that's awesome. And then I have a white swan echinacea here. I need to kind of trim that back. I think it's done for the season. I did plant some violas and some pansies. Let's see if I can show you. I have some pansies in this container right here. They are just this beautiful pinkish purplish color. Absolutely love these. These are, I think these were the matrix pansies, but I don't remember what variety of matrix pansy these were. But I have some planted there, some violas there. Another like just a regular annual dianthus, like the Chinese dianthus there. And then I have more Sweet William over there. That's a new Sweet William plant. And so I do expect that one will bloom next year. Another pansy is next to it. And then there is this ground cover, if you can see it. It's really starting to go dormant, and it's supposed to be deciduous and losing its leaves this time of year, but it is a ground cover called Plumbago ceratostigma with beautiful blue flowers. It does very, very well here in North Texas, and it is a perennial plant. It's not your annual plumbago. It is a ground cover. It's plumbago ceratostigma. So absolutely beautiful. I have one here, and then I have another one planted over there. So around this landscape with the perennials, I have, you know, Sweet Williams and Dianthus dotted all throughout. I also have Echinacea dotted all throughout. So this one, like I said, was White Swan. I have Powwow Echinacea all around here. And then I have, I think I only have one. I forget the variety name, but it is an orange Echinacea. So that will be lovely. I have a, right here is Coreopsis plant is right here. And this one, I was able to propagate a couple different ones from cuttings, and so I have 2 other Coreopsis planted around here, along with another Sweet William back there. So it's just gonna be this like beautiful perennial bed of Sweet William, regular Dianthus, Echinacea, and Plumbago ceratostigma. And then of course the centerpiece of this particular garden is this, which is a limelight hydrangea. And I got something accomplished with this bloom. You can kind of see it right there. And the bloom next to it that I've never been able to accomplish with the limelight hydrangea this year. And it is that these were white and they started turning pink when we got into fall. And it's because they were 2 new blooms that I just got. I think they started off in October, and then by the time the blooms matured in November and the temperatures were cooling down, they gave me that beautiful pink color that limelights typically do in colder regions, but not here. Like, that's just unheard of. We've just had like the most beautiful fall ever, and usually like it just goes from hot to really super cold. And so we don't get to see our limelight hydrangeas turn this color because they get scorched before they have the opportunity to do that. But totally blessed. And this one is in a pot because I lost the limelight hydrangea that was planted. Actually, it was a little lime that was planted there last time, and then the one before it, planted in the ground, did not survive either. It's just the strangest thing. I can't get limelights to survive in the ground in this location, but I have gotten them to survive in pots in this location before. So I'm just going back to pots. I'm going back to what I know will work. And this was a baby of one of the ones that I lost 2 years ago. And it's nice and mature now. It was grown in a different location. Now I'm putting it here, and I do believe it will do just fine. So moving around in this garden bed, you could see I do already have some daffodils coming up. I have some coming up there and some coming up there. I do have them planted, like dotted all throughout. And then something else that I will have that I forgot to mention with the perennials is I do have verbena here that is dotted. So verbena is marginally winter hardy here, so we'll see if it works. I do believe it will survive this winter, most likely, if the winter continues to be as beautiful as it has been. But I do have Superbena Peachy Keen, and then also a pink verbena that is not proven winners. It was a Callaway's brand, so I have a few of those all throughout here as well. And then I have a Star Jasmine that's planted right there, that typically goes on that fence. I see it's actually thriving and growing into the landscape there. So moving over, lovely Chloe is kind of in the way, but let's see, I have another Dianthus planted there. Hello, sweet baby. And here I have something lovely, and I'm so happy that it survived. This, and it's got new growth, is Mr. Goodbud sedum. So very much like Autumn Joy sedum, it was in that corner where the Kaleidoscope Abelia is now, except it hated it. It got way too wet. It survived just fine. However, it just was way too wet because it was getting watered with rain. It was getting watered when the garden bed was getting watered, and it was getting watered when this is all grass, believe it or not. We just have to rake the leaves. So it was getting overspray from the grass getting water as well. So did not like that location. I do not think it thrived there. I think it will thrive here. This is an area of my garden that, for whatever reason, does stay on the drier side. So I transplanted it in the fall. It already has lots of new growth right there. So I do think that it will be very, very happy. And then I have another echinacea here. This one is Echinacea purpurea, grown from seed a couple years ago. And then over here, I have a lovely, lovely clematis. It is clematis sapphire indigo, and it has these lovely purple flowers. I bought it and planted it late in, spring. I think it was spring, and it has done really, really well. There is some new growth down there, and I see some of the vine. No, is that a jasmine vine or I don't know. I've got jasmine here, and then all kinds of vines growing, but I do think it is doing pretty well. I think all of this is normal. This is my first time growing clematis, but I do believe it is a group 2 clematis, which means you could prune it late winter, early spring, and then you can prune it one more time after it's done blooming in the spring to get another flush of blooms. Now, all of you that grow clematis, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because I am brand new to this, but I did look it up, and I remember thinking like it can be pruned in late spring or late winter, early spring, and then again after the spring bloom, and it'll rebloom. And it did. It bloomed for me up through fall, so it's a great clematis. And then next to the clematis, in a pot, I have a rosemary plant. The reason it is in a pot is, again, that is another very difficult location. Everything that I plant there dies. So again, that's my fallback. When I have an issue with something growing in the soil that dies over and over again in the same location, I'll just put a pot there. That's my answer. And I think it works. So anyway, so there's rosemary. And then I have a Texas sage still flowering. It is December 29th. By the time you guys see it, it is the end of the year, 2024. And yes, we still have our Texas sage is still blooming because of our weather that we have been blessed with. It is so great. I will show you my containers just really quick. I have some pansies growing there. I do have a blue agave, and it is winter hardy. I have no idea what type it is. It was given to me as a little baby pup from a friend that grows them in her garden, and it does amazing in this little pot. It's incredible plant. This is my herb garden. Actually, I was going to look at this because I've got apple mint still going. I've got a little bit of peppermint still going. I've got strawberries in there. I've got, dill or fennel there that's going strong. This is lemon thyme still going. Oregano is still going. It's so great. I just love it. This is annuals that are dead. This is my strawberry planter, and I do have a strawberry in late December. This is insane. And the strawberries are just turning these lovely colors as well. Absolutely just love this season. It's incredible. This is an annual planter. This is Biden's. They are still blooming. Amazing. Right here, I have a this plant. It is a hardy hibiscus, summer carnival, variegated leaves, giving me a hard time. Does not really do all that well, although it survives. So we will see. But I did plant some bluebonnets, and they are coming up, which is super, super exciting. I think I have 3 or 4 bluebonnets that I planted in there that are coming up. Right here is some more of the Mr. Goodbud sedum. And look, this is like a piece that broke off while transplanting that still had roots. So I went ahead and put it in, and then there were cuttings that I put all around here, but I don't think the cuttings survived. Let's just take a look. I don't know. That might have. Am I pulling something up that's got a root? Probably not. Yeah, I don't, well, it's questionable if that cut. I'm going to stick it back in where it was. There it goes. Anyway, the one that had roots survived and has all kinds of new growth and is now starting to flower. This is just crazy. And then crepe myrtle lost all its leaves, and then some more pansies there. And then let me go show you, before I go over to this area, I actually need to show you a brand new garden bed that I am so excited about. This is an all shade garden bed that is brand new. I actually added these pots last year with hostas. I got everything on clearance at end of season 2023, and hostas for $1. Huge hostas. These are huge, guys. Check out my, let's see, any of my summer garden tours, backyard garden tours, and you will see how huge and beautiful these hostas are. I have Blue Elegans hosta. I have Proven Winners, Diamond Lake, Woo La La. Just really big, beautiful hostas. They did amazing. They are done for the season, and I did cut them back. Hostas can harbor like various diseases and snails and things like that over winter. So you are supposed to cut them off when they go dormant. They will have brand new growth in the spring. But what is new are all of these plants that are actually planted in the garden over here. So this is super exciting. I've never had anything successfully grow there before, but I've also never been like as into gardening as I am now. So that is why this new garden bed is here, and I'm super excited about it. Now that I know about shade plants and what plants will work there, I know how to do it. So that's really exciting. But right here I have an autumn fern. And I almost wish I would have just filled this with autumn ferns, because I just love it so much. It is hardy here in North Texas, and they just take on this beautiful color in the autumn. So there's that. And then I have some liriope, variegated liriope here. I have a hydrangea macrophylla that was a baby. Didn't take the transplant super well, but it is surviving. And so that's what that is. Hydrangea macrophylla, free plant because I propagated it. More variegated liriope. And then this is a spotted leopard plant. Absolutely beautiful. It survived the transplant really well. I put these out here in the fall. They were growing in a container on my front porch. If you have seen them before, that is what that plant is. And then this one is a leopard plant, like the big giant leopard plant. So it is doing so beautifully. I'm so excited about this plant. It is so beautiful, and I wanted to have one for quite some time, and so excited about that. And then that has two liriope there as well. And then this one is Sea of Hearts, or Sea Heart Forget-Me-Not Brunnera. And this was a very sickly plant. When it was growing in a container on my porch, it had mealybugs, it had all kinds of things going on, but ever since coming back here, it's been great. And so I think it's going to do really well right here in this location, as long as my puppy doesn't ruin it. She does like to dig in this brand new garden bed, and so there she is, little stinker. So we'll just hi Gummy, hi baby, you stop digging in there, okay? Say hi to everybody. All right. Hello. Yes. Okay. Let's go on to the other parts of the garden. I have to pay attention here to the sunshine ligustrum. I have tree formed it, so we're going to get under there and see what it's like under there. But gosh, this thing is like probably 7 feet tall at this point and just looks amazing. No matter what season of the year. Like even if this was if it was 10 degrees outside, I promise you this plant would look this way. It's just the most unbelievable plant. And I've had a couple of you comment that they're trash and that they don't keep this yellow color and they go back to the green color. I have grown quite a few of these, and every single one of them, if you plant them in full sun, they take on that yellow hue. If you plant them more in the shade, then yes, they revert back to their green. They need the sun in order to have that yellow color, but they are just spectacular. They are hardy. They look great in the winter time here in Zone 8A, and I just don't know what else you would ever want from a shrub. You could prune them anytime you want, although I am waiting until a good time. It does need to be pruned back, but I'm going to wait till late winter or early spring when all the other shrubs should be cut back. But it is just beautiful. The only problem is it's taking over this garden bed, and this garden bed is now kind of a part shade / shade garden bed because it has really started to block the sun from reaching down there. So that's okay. We will adapt because I am not going to be removing this plant. I will trim it up quite a bit, but it is absolutely beautiful. Let me get down here. Okay, so we are underneath the sunshine ligustrum, and yes, so you can kind of see how I have tree formed it. I need to go in and kind of clean that up a little bit. And there's all kinds of leaves down here. It is what it is. There's Gummy. But I just kind of wanted to show you down here. I have some Juga that are a little bit covered in leaves right now. That is the Texas sage that I showed you a little bit ago. I do have a Mystic Spires salvia growing right over there. It's that green that you see. Wait till I show you the Mystic Spires in my front yard that's in full sun. This is a shady location and it needs to be moved. And that's what I mean. Like, it's changed the microclimate down here. My sunshine ligustrum did. So I will be moving that Mystic Spires blue salvia, but my Mystic Spires blue salvia is still going strong in the front, planted in full sun, and wait till I show you what it looks like right now. It's spectacular. So, but down here, I want to add a lot more shade plants down here. As you can see, I have a lot more room. The ajuga is all around here, so I do want that to kind of be the space around the ligustrum. Right here, it sticks, but it's not. It is another limelight hydrangea planted here. This is part of like my testing for panicle hydrangeas. I truly believe, even though panicle hydrangeas say full sun, in North Texas, the heat that we get, they can't really take the full sun. So I have them planted in several locations. One where I just showed you in the container, this one that's actually more shade, and then up here where I know that they thrive up here in these containers right there. Because that's where I propagate them and that's where I grow more. So part shade, honestly, is the best environment for these guys. And so I planted this thinking that this would be a part shade environment, but this sunshine ligustrum within this last season has just overtaken the sun that this guy would get. And so yeah, he might be transplanted. I'm not super sure what we're going to do there. I have canna lilies that are still half and half going strong. I have more purple hyacinth bean vine. It's planted all on this archway. And it's done for the season. It needs to be cut back. But like I said, some of these, let's see, is it rattling? Yeah, there's some seeds to collect in there. Let's see. Okay. This vine that you see growing, it's from over there. Actually, it's defoliated a lot now that I'm looking at it. I hope it's still okay. I think it is. This is coral honeysuckle, and it is a semi-evergreen vine here in North Texas, Zone 8A, kind of on the border of Zone 8B. But it has grown tremendously in just one season. This was a little guy at the beginning of last season, just up to about here. And in one season, it has grown all along this fence, It's just done so well. But I also have a Confederate Star Jasmine growing there as well. which Confederate Star Jasmine vines, I love them, don't get me wrong, but here in North Texas, they typically don't survive the winters and the vine above the ground. The vine will die all the way back to the ground every winter, just based on the temperatures that we get to, and then it comes back every year and grows. So this is one growing season worth of growth for that dark colored vine, the Confederate Star Jasmine, but this winter, it may not die back. And so next spring, if this vine does not die back until next spring, we may get to see a huge flush of beautiful, fragrant white flowers, and I'm super excited about that. But if it does die back, then we typically do not get the blooms in the spring because it's just coming back to life. So we'll see what happens. And then just one more peek over here. The only other thing I have going on is this, and it's my hardy hibiscus. It is Midnight Marvel hibiscus. So, yeah, again, not getting as much sun as it should get. This time, though, it was because of the purple hyacinth bean vine that I planted. It just overtook this area, and so it overtook all of the sun that this guy should have gotten, and so no more purple hyacinth bean vine growing up on these arches. But I probably will do the black-eyed Susan vine. It's probably what that's my favorite like annual vine right now, is that black-eyed Susan vine, so that's probably what I'll do instead. So I've come back up. This is where we were just standing. Come back up here to show you I have a little garden of hens and chicks. They have survived all year round. I'm pretty excited about that, actually. And they will survive the winter as well, even in these little pots. This one did not make it, but all the other ones pretty much did. This one's on the sad side, but still there. All the other ones did really, really well, and they will survive our winters and our summers, and just the perfect plant to kind of put in there because they can dry out completely. They can go through the winter. They can do all the things. Gummy, leave the grass alone. Thank you. Oh, puppies. Oh my goodness. They want to eat everything. They want to get into everything. We do have to be careful. Okay. That is a pink muley grass. It was planted in the ground over here, and it hated life because it didn't get any sun. It survived, but it did not bloom for me. So I brought it back up here in this location of, part sun, almost full sun, and I think it will do really well there. Let me back up and show you my 4 trellises, and they are full of Tangerine Beauty crossvine. And oh my goodness, this is my favorite perennial flowering vine, hands down, by far. I've grown a lot of them, y'all, but here it is. It is wonderful. So it's taking on this like purplish hue for the winter, and some of the leaves will fall, you'll get just very slight leaf defoliation, but other than that, all of the other leaves are going to stay on this vine, and then in the springtime it will start to bloom, and it will be covered in blooms. And this guy is only 2 years old. It's only been in the ground for 2 growing seasons, and here we are. So I am just ecstatic. They were little itty bitty tiny things, and now they're just these large, ginormous. They're just absolutely beautiful. I love them so much. That's the little lime that I'm pretty sure did not make it. That was planted in the ground where I have my big limelight that we passed over. But I left it there. We'll see. Maybe those roots are still alive, but for sure everything above that is dead. And then, y'all, zinnias blooming in late December. Yes, they are. They're not very big blooms, but they are blooms nonetheless. It is crazy. These are also forget-me-nots, Chinese forget-me-nots, and they're just doing so good. They haven't died off yet. This is a baby limelight Oh no, I'm sorry, this is a baby little lime that I propagated from the little lime that I think I lost. So this guy for sure is alive. It just barely lost its leaves. And then let me take you down here to my part shade and shade gardens. Before we go down to the part shade gardens, I wanted to show you this magnificent guy. It is a foxtail fern. It's, I think, 3 different foxtail ferns, I think. They've grown all season there, doing amazing. I did not expect them to survive the winter. They are marginal, especially in a container here, but who knows? Maybe they'll survive. They're too big for me to take inside. Plus, there's a Confederate star jasmine planted in here as well that's growing up here and hooked on, so to speak. So I cannot move that container. So I was planning on covering this if we get like a really, really severe freeze. And it is kind of sheltered here with the garden hose there. The pole is right there. The barbecue's there. Like, this is somewhat of a sheltered location. So I might be able to get these guys to survive the season, which I will be thrilled about because I love this plant. Foxtail ferns are amazing. So let me take you down here. This area right down here, it's only, let's see, 2 growing seasons. And this is part shade. So I have some canna lilies here. They're still going strong. Here at my feet, do you see this? This is Greg's mist flower. So it's actually planted right there, and throughout the season it grew so big and it just kind of toppled and started growing, and it's rooted itself in here as a ground cover, which I'm totally not against. I mean, there's nothing else going back here, so it's fabulous. My only thing was it is a huge monarch butterfly attractor, and when the monarchs were coming through, I didn't see a single one on here, and I don't know why. It might have to do with the fact that there's a crepe myrtle here and bird feeders on the other side of this fence, and so this tree typically is full of birds, and I wonder if the monarchs just thought that was too dangerous to come over here for the Greg's Mist flower. I'm not sure, but I'm excited to see this next season. Maybe they'll figure it out, and maybe I'll have this covered with queen butterflies and monarch butterflies next season. We shall see. What else is planted here? I do have 2 purple asters that I bought really late season and put those there. They actually almost died because I was watering them incorrectly. Long story, but I planted them in the ground after that, and I do have new growth out of both of them. So super excited about those. I have a lovely boxwood. It's actually looking pretty good. Let's see. I do have some purple heart Tradescantia planted all throughout here, but Gummy like destroyed it. My puppy just came in and dug it all up. Insane. She destroyed a lot of this actually, and I had to kind of throughout the season put it all back together. Oh, but that's okay. I have 2 amaryllis plants planted there. They are the Rapido variety, bright red, lots and lots of blooms. They are surviving in this location, at least for the last, 2 growing seasons. And I got 4 more amaryllis bulbs, 4 or 5. This is going to become, I think, amaryllis back here. So I am going to plant those in the spring. And I do think they will be just fine there. And then I have a daylily here as well. I think I'm going to fill this front part up with daylilies and this back part up with amaryllis. This is a great part shade location for them. Over here I have, this is a ground cover, but it's pretty darn tall right there and doing so well. This is variegated Vinca major. And then here starts the shade portion of this garden bed. So I have 6 endless summer hydrangeas that are planted over here. Eventually, I would love to see them grow really big like a hedge. We will see if that happens in almost, well, yeah, it is almost full shade. It's dappled because of the tree ahead of us, but definitely almost full shade. And look at these. Just still enjoying these like magenta blooms. And yeah, some of these leaves probably are a little bit fungus or something, but they will lose their leaves, I think. and we will see. But yeah, so far, all of the hydrangeas still have their leaves and they're looking beautiful. Something that is new to the garden. Oh, I'm so excited. This was part of my birthday money I spent on these plants, 6 of these. So I have coral bells or heuchera, and I forget the variety, but I bought rainbow colors of them. But look at how beautiful this one is, and it's doing so well. I think it's already grown in size after I planted it. So this is magma coral bells. Just absolutely gorgeous color. Look at the undersides. Oh my goodness, the undersides of these leaves are so beautiful. The new growth, as you can see, is a different color, and then as it ages into this like really pretty purple color. Oh, I love it so much. I've still got begonias alive and flowering as well. This was annual begonias that I popped in here. So there's another hydrangea, and then there's another coral bell. This one is, let's see, what is it? The lime something. Electric lime coral bells, and it's doing really well. I feel like it's smaller. They were all the same size when I bought them, but I feel like this one is smaller than the magma, but it's still doing beautifully. New growth, which is awesome. I'm so excited about this. And again, look at this. We are in late December, enjoying blooms on the begonias. It's amazing. I have another hydrangea there, and so another coral bell here. I put them all in between all the coral bells are in between the hydrangeas. So this one is caramel coral bells. This one is my neighbor Aida's favorite. She saw them and she was like, "Oh, I love this one." So really, really pretty, like caramelly, peachy color, and then it just matures to this nice little yellow green. Just absolutely beautiful. And it's doing really well too. Gosh, they're doing amazing here. A lot of people say that it's really hard to grow coral bells in North Texas. This is an all shade location though. I do think they will do okay. Just need the right location. So more begonias flowering. And then look at this one. Look at this coral bell. Wow. Getting some of the leaves out of there. Holy moly. This nice, beautiful black color, purpley color. This one is called obsidian coral bells. So yeah, this one is definitely supposed to be like black in color. Look at that new growth. Oh, I'm so excited about this, y'all. This is honestly, having coral bells in between these hydrangeas has been part of my vision for quite a while. My husband was against it. He thinks that coral bells look like weeds, and so I never bought them. But you know, I kind of wore him down a little bit. He doesn't go on this side of the house anyway, ever. And so I bought them as a birthday gift to myself. And I'm so happy I did. This is why I'm so excited. And this one, again, I think this is another magma. Or did I get Georgia Peach? Is this the Georgia Peach one? Yes, this is the Georgia Peach. Really similar. I remember thinking, and I got them at Lowe's. I remember thinking the magma is really similar to the Georgia Peach. The Georgia Peach has a lot darker veining than the magma does. And I really kind of like that, actually. I'm glad I got one of each. But look at that new growth color. It's just so gorgeous. Oh, I love them so much. And then just check out that hydrangea, just giving us all its glory. It's so gorgeous. And these begonias that are also in their glory. Holy moly. Look at them. Oh, I will do begonias back here, I think, every year. They do really, really well back here, and I just love them. So, and then I don't want to miss this guy. Another Brunnera, and this guy has been here all season since the spring. It's doing really, really well. This one is the Queen of Hearts by Perennial Winners. So yeah, let's see. Okay, yes, we've got new growth going on. This is starting to be, oh my goodness, in the the part shade, another part shade era. So this is all shade, shade, shade. And then right about here, we get to part shade. And so I've got more part shade plants right here and begonias that fill them in. So more daylilies, more begonias. This is pink Turk's cap. I see that it is not blooming, which is kind of a bummer. Here we go. Here's one little bud. There you go. The pink Turk's cap is just the most beautiful color pink. I love it so much. And what do we have under there? Oh, it's one of the hips. Okay. How cool is that? I've never seen it create one of those hips before, but apparently these are edible. I've just never tried them, but that's what the blooms form when they're done. I guess when it's been fertilized? I don't know. I don't know enough about it, y'all, but it is pretty. And then coming over here to the glory that is this. Oh my goodness, I can't even stand it right now. It's gorgeous. So this is an oak leaf hydrangea. This is a dwarf Alice oak leaf. And this is, again, only its second season in the ground. No, I'm sorry. It's only been in the ground one full season. I put it in the ground fall of 2023. I did not get to see it bloom in spring 2024 because I do believe when I bought it, it had been pruned and all the blooms have been pruned off. So we didn't get to see any blooms, but here it is. I'm so excited for spring because I do believe it will bloom. But this is one of the reasons that I got this plant, is that they are spectacular in the fall. Look at those gorgeous colors. And I am 5 feet tall. It is almost as tall as I am in one growing season. Wow, it's insane. And this is a dwarf. So I can't even imagine what this would be like if it was not a dwarf variety, but it is perfect. It obviously loves this spot, and I cannot wait for spring to see the blooms on this guy. But really, really excited. Dwarf Alice, oak leaf hydrangea. And then over here is just Mexican petunia. It's not blooming for me, I don't think, but it does have buds. Look at this. This is amazing. Look at those. There's a bud. That's insane. Oh my word. So what a gift God has given us in this December of all of this lovely fall-like weather. We have not really gotten into winter yet, and it's just incredible. But don't go yet. I'm going to show you my front yard. Okay, everyone, so here is my front garden, and I'm not going to focus too much on it, although it is gorgeous right now, but it does look very much the same. Almost. Things have grown, but it looks a lot like it did in my November tour, so I won't focus too much on it other than to say, like, that's kind of the point. Like, how does it look like this in late December, in winter, in North Texas? I don't know, but here is Silly Goose. I do have some containers here, and they just kind of have some things plopped in them. This is Mexican Heather. Again, it's an annual for our area. It is blooming. It's unbelievable. I have a hydrangea that I propagated that's hanging in there. Begonias hanging in there. And this is variegated liriope that I haven't popped in the landscape. Same as this, variegated liriope. They'll stay here for the winter. They'll be fine. And then they'll be popped somewhere. Maybe in that new shade garden bed. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I've got some mums. I've got Gerber daisies. They are kind of aged out a little bit. Especially, no. Look at that. And look at this double bloom. Can you believe that Gerber daisies are blooming right now? It's insane. It's doing amazing right here. So I'm just so thrilled with that. It's so nice to come out and see this color in late December. And then this, if you saw my November garden tour, you saw this new addition. I'm so happy about it, but it is covered in blooms right now. It is an Encore Azalea Autumn Sunset. And yeah, there's the price tag. That's what I paid for it. I don't think that's too bad. But this was, again, part of my birthday present that I purchased with my birthday money. And it's doing really well. This is a part sun location on my porch. And I can't believe it. I've killed quite a few azaleas before, but I didn't know what I know now about growing them. And so this is acidic soil. I added soil acidifier. It's in a part sun environment. My Gerbera daisies thrive here, so I really think this azalea is going to thrive there as well. And just look at that beautiful color in December. I can't believe it. I just can't get over it. Right here I have a topiary full of English ivy that I love so much. And then my hydrangea macrophylla. This guy is, gosh, 13 years old, 14 years old. And just look, they are definitely aging out, but look at these leaves. So gorgeous. I'm in love with this plant so much. And look at this. Now, this is something I've never, ever had. Not only is this normally defoliated at this time of year, but I have a new bloom. That's insane. It's literally insane. But yeah, it's doing really, really well. Some of these blooms are definitely aging out. Look, another new bloom there too. This was one that was brand new last month in November. So it's what a gift. What a gift this weather is. And look, this is a new bloom, little blue. So cute. And then I have this guy. This is a variegated hydrangea macrophylla. And again, it's normally defoliated at this point. I wish it would give me some blooms like the other one did. I've never seen it bloom. But these guys, I think, have to be more mature. And I think this guy's only about 3 years old, maybe 4. And so maybe he'll give me some blooms in the spring, but I'm not so sure. It is a gorgeous plant, though. And so I'm absolutely loving that as well. And then coming over here, I have some boxwoods that are covered in some Christmas lights. And I have some English ivy with some dianthus down in there. I only have one little dianthus bloom right there, but coming over here is a cute little square garden that I have variegated liriope. I popped in some violas. They didn't think they were going to make it. They didn't look like they were doing so swell, and now all of a sudden those are popping up pretty well, I'd say. And then this guy, he's tipping a little bit. I may need to repot him, but this is my 3-ball topiary. It is a Carolina cypress. It's a type of Arizona cypress, Carolina sapphire cypress. Sorry about that. It is an Arizona cypress and native to New Mexico. This guy usually gets incredibly huge, but before I bought it, the nursery guy promised me that it would stay contained as long as it was in a container. It will survive in the container, although if it gets super, super cold, then I will kind of cover it a little bit to protect it. I think it goes down to zone 7, zone 6 or zone 7, but it should be good here. And it's done really well. It has, I've had it in there since October, and like I said, except for kind of tilting a little bit after being planted, it has done really well. And then we've been able to cover it in Christmas lights and Christmas ornaments, and how sweet is that? I just absolutely love it. And the front garden. So I've got, these are Blue Ocean Matrix pansies, and then I have a row of white Dusty Miller right there. Okay. Ooh, this is exciting. I have a tree-formed limelight hydrangea here. And then underplanted is some dianthus and some yellow violas. What else do I have in there? Oh, yeah. So I've got some lemon ball sedum there as well. I have some lemon ball sedum coming up there. And then all of this is May Night Salvia. And also right here is a sparkling amethyst verbena. And it's one plant, but it's like spread all under here. And then of course the sunshine ligustrum. It's just, like I said, I have 4 or 5 of them planted as the hedge here, and they have gotten a little bit crazy. They really need to be trimmed back, but again, I'm waiting for late winter, early spring to do that, and I'll trim those way back. But they're looking great. Coming into the garden here is a little bit difficult because we have a huge mega tree. Go ahead, I'm going to put up a video that I took last year. I haven't done a new video for this year, but it's kind of all the same decorations. But my husband really goes all out for Christmas, and so my November, December garden tours are like, let me get around all of this. But he does a beautiful job, and we did win 2nd place for our neighborhood in the Clark Griswold category, and so that was really fun. But let's go back to the garden. Okay, look at this. Sweet William. I bought this from the nursery this year, planted it in a landscape, and it is blooming beautifully. The sun is starting to go down right now, and it's just making these plants glow. Like, it's so gorgeous. This whole pot of limelight hydrangea is surrounded by May-night salvia, which I love. I have some daffodils coming up there, and goodness gracious, look at that May-night salvia still blooming. It's insane. Oh, and you see that little sparkling amethyst verbena back there. That guy is blooming as well. And then I have right here this is Mirage Cherry Red Salvia Greggy, however you pronounce it. Still blooming as well. I have another May-night salvia. I have a daylily, and then this I'm super excited about. I got some more lemon balsedum and planted them all around my bird bath, and then also the daffodils are coming up all around the bird bath as well. I have another daylily back there. It is a red variety of daylily, whereas these are peach varieties. And yeah, these pansies are doing amazing, but I just noticed these Dusty Millers are doing great. And then this guy, although totally still alive, is not doing the best. Not exactly sure what's going on, but who knows. But I'm loving the way that this lemon balsedum is going. This lemon balsedum is a great evergreen ground cover for North Texas if you're looking for something with a pop of color that will stay that color all throughout the season, even in the winter. That's what that lemon balsedum is going to do for sure. Okay, admittedly, I should have taken care of this already. This is balloon flower. It's a perennial. It'll come back. However, right now it does not look great. And coming over carefully next to it, let's see what we've got going on. I've got another Salvia Greggy or Greggii. Same variety. I've got a dianthus. This is like the Chinese annual dianthus, but goodness, it does really great in this location. This is more of a part shade location for my garden because we are underneath my Vitex tree. So that is my Vitex tree. It is absolutely gorgeous and growing like crazy. I'm gonna get to that, my lovely hydrangea, in just a sec, but I've got some more Dusty Miller planted there. This ground cover is variegated Vinca Major. I've got actually a verbena that's over here that we'll see if it survives. And then under here, I've got a lot of Ajuga and some more Dusty Miller, just some shade loving plants, some more Dusty Miller back there as well. It is perennial for us. And again, it's a nice evergreen kind of plant as well. It kind of stays that white color. And then my lovely, I have another hydrangea macrophylla here, and if you're curious, how is she growing all of these hydrangeas in North Texas? I've never been able to do that. They always die on me. I do have a hydrangea video all about caring for hydrangea macrophylla in intense heat as we experience here in North Texas. I will pop a link to that video, but I truly believe that if you plant them in the right location and you understand how to grow them and what they need, I do believe that you can grow hydrangeas here, and I have done so very successfully, as you can see in this garden tour, and I hope that you are able to find success if you watch that video as well. So please check that out. But in the meantime, here's this guy. I'm gonna see if I can go around real quick. Okay, here's where I was just sitting, but you can see I have this ajuga ground cover down there, variegated vinca ground cover, and then, oh, what a gorgeous sight with this hydrangea in the winter time. Again, new blooms, which this guy looks like it got fried, honestly. We had a 28-degree night a couple of nights ago, so I'm sure that new bloom got fried, but gorgeous, gorgeous magenta color. I have let these blooms stay on the plant all season long. This is a new bloom. Look. Wow. I can't believe this. It's such a gift. I do have some speckling on the leaves, which we have gotten so much rain. This happens when they get a lot of overhead water. This is probably bacterial, fungal, something going on. I do expect to lose these leaves, but you know, they're normally losing leaves about this time of year, and they haven't. Yeah, there's definitely a fungal something going on. I could treat it, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm debating. I'm currently thinking about it because this is pretty severe, whatever's going on there. That's not normal. It's just all of the rain that we've had. And this, oh, I know exactly what's going on. Right here is we've had torrential rain. And so it comes off of the roof line right here, and it has affected these. So if I did anything, it would be to remove those leaves that have the bacterial or fungal infection. I'm not going to cut it back because I'll be taking out last year's bloom or next year's blooms. You can see these buds right here. Those are all going to be next year's blooms. Next year's, like the stems that are going to grow next year's blooms. So I'm not going to cut that stem off in any way, shape, or form. If I do anything, I'm going to remove the leaves and discard them in the trash. But we'll see. We'll see if I get around to it. But underneath there is variegated vinca major, and it is kind of taking over, but it's doing really well. And I do like it here. This is the reason that I have it, is just to kind of fill in the ground over here where there's a ton of shade. So there is my front garden, except hang in there just a little while longer. We're going to go through my gingerbread house. I DIY'd that gingerbread house. I'm so proud of it. It hasn't held up super great, but we're going to do a different gingerbread house next year. Anyway, that was a side note. Check out the Mystic Spires Blue Salvia. We're getting decreased light, but I know you can see this. This is incredible. This Mystic Spires Blue Salvia, my other one looks even better, has just been such a rock star from spring all the way now until winter time. I can't. It goes down to zone 8, which I thought, you know, I'll be really lucky if I get it to overwinter in the pots, because that makes it 2 zones colder. And so I was gonna like cover them up at this time of year, make sure that they survive. I'm trying to get them to survive, but I don't even know if I need to worry about that. They're blooming all the way until the end of December. We've had 28-degree weather. Like, it's doing fine. It's blooming in 28-degree weather, for heaven's sakes. It's insane. I had picked up these pansies. They're still in their pots because I planned on this being dead by now. I planned on me trimming this all the way down and then planting these beautiful, like, this is such a much better, like, Christmassy color for our Christmas decoration. So I was planning on planting all of these pansies in there, and no, like, I just popped them in without actually planting them because there's no room to plant them because this guy is still big and strong. And also there is one sparkling amethyst verbena, superbena in here. And this is one plant planted right there, and now it's all surrounding and blooming and just, it's amazing. Wow. So just unbelievable. And this Mystic Spires Blue Salvia, same thing. It's just absolutely incredible. Look at the sun coming down in the background. But anyway, Mystic Spires Blue Salvia has been an absolute rock star. I highly recommend it. This is one plant in this pot, planted in the spring as a little tiny baby. And yeah, I have pansies under here, but because this guy is so fierce, the pansies haven't really been able to get the sun that they needed, and that was kind of like an unneeded purchase, to be honest, but that's okay. I know now what, you know, next year, watch, it's going to be super cold, and I am going to need to get those pansies planted there next year, but for this year, not so much. So there you go, and you get a little peek of our Christmas decor for this year. My husband does just this most amazing job, and I'll let you see over here real quick. This is our side yard and our little winner for the holiday decorating contest. Yeah, there you go, everybody. But thanks for joining me on this crazy December garden tour of North Texas. Just again, an absolute gift from God that we have been given this weather, that we can still enjoy the beautiful things in our landscape and not have to come into winter quite yet. Love y'all. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a fabulous day, everybody. Bye-bye.